Seven-time F1 world champion Lewis Hamilton is running the risk of being banned from races due to his stance on wearing jewelry on race weekends. As the fallout from the ruling continues, Hamilton has been assured that the F1 jewelry ban has been imposed for the right reasons. The FIA announced the ban ahead of this month's Miami Grand Prix, despite Hamilton's initial defiance. The seven-time world champion arrived in Miami for his Thursday media duties wearing 3 watches, 8 rings and 4 necklaces. He even threatened to withdraw from the race if officials forced him to remove the items before competing. "We have a spare driver. There's lots to do in the city. It'll be good either way." The British driver later changed his mind and agreed to compromise by removing his ear piercings, although he was granted a 2-race exemption for his nose studs, with officials acknowledging that they would require surgery to remove. Following Miami, that allowance appears to expire after the Spanish Grand Prix, casting serious doubt on Hamilton's place in the field for Monaco a week later. While in America, Hamilton argued that there were more important issues for F1 executives to be concerned about. But Alex Wurz, who raced 69 times in F1 for Benetton, McLaren and Williams, has hit back. The Austrian is heavily involved in driver education and safety. It is a rule for the right reasons. I would have probably liked a slightly different approach of how to deliver the message. I don't want to end up in football where there are more hands in the air and verbal abuse. You have to work together. It's a style I would have preferred in this case. But it isn't the only contentious new rule, with F1 bosses planning to strictly enforce drivers wearing fireproof underwear. In America, Sebastian Vettel mocked that notion by wearing his boxer shorts over his driver overalls before first practice. Wurz, on the other hand, made a compelling case for enforcing that rule. He recalled a talk given by Danish former racer Chris Nissen, who had a high-speed sports car crash at Japan's Fuji circuit in 1988. He showed his body and said, "Look at this." For him, the absolute most painful thing after fire, and it wasn't a long fire, was the rubber in his normal pants being burnt into the skin. He said it was years of agony and pain, and it educated me. "At this moment, I said I don't want to live these consequences, only for not taking my pants off and putting fireproof underpants on." The same with jewelry. The two measures are not new in F1 circles, but they appear to have been reinforced since FIA President Mohammed Ben Sulayem took office late last year. Rumors circulated that Hamilton was being singled out by the new president, Ben Sulayem, given the fact that no such problem with jewelry had arisen in previous presidencies. Ben Sulayem, however, insisted that there was no such plot against the Mercedes driver, telling the media, after Brazil, where Hamilton fought back from the back of the grid to keep his title hopes alive, "I wished him all the best as he was getting on the plane home. You can ask Toto Wolff how supportive I was. I was free then because I wasn't president. I really wanted him to win the 8th title, because records are there to be broken. People say I did what Lewis and Toto wanted by removing Michael Massey. I mean, I do that for them, and then I have it in for them. It doesn't make sense." Lewis saw a doctor in Miami to discuss the jewelry issue, and guess what? He was a British doctor. I am simply saying the rules are there. It's not for me to decide the merits of the science, it's for the medics. I would like Lewis to be a role model, an ambassador, to send the right message to all the young drivers to prevent a tragedy. We should be using him in that good cause. Sebastian Vettel was among those who suggested Hamilton was being targeted by the clampdown, while Pierre Gasly stated that his personal religious beliefs would make him uncomfortable with removing his own accessories. "I love jewelry. I absolutely love it," conceded Ben Sulayem. But in the car there can be no choice. People say the rules haven't been implemented before. Don't ask me why not. People can ask the old regime why that is the case. On the consequences of Hamilton continuing to wear jewelry in Monaco, Ben Sulayem added, "That's up to him. There are fines that apply. It's like if someone speeds on the roads. You can't stop them doing it, but they get fined, even if it was accidental. You can't let people off because they're your friends. There has to be one rule for all. And that's that." The debate over jewelry in Miami was reignited on Saturday when Esteban Ocon collided with the same concrete wall that Carlos Sainz collided with in FP2. Ocon revealed that the unprotected wall was discussed in the driver's briefing on Friday night, but no changes to the location were made overnight. The apparent disconnect between the jewelry debate and the lack of response to a specific request to modify that area of the track with Tech Pro was not lost on drivers. Hamilton stated at the time as follows, I mean, this whole safety thing, man. When they told me about jewelry, they were saying safety is everything. I said, well, what's happened for the past 16 years? I've had jewelry on for 16 years, so was safety not an issue back then? When we come to these new tracks, they do the best job. I think they've done a great job in all of these new tracks with safety. You can't predict every single corner where we're going to need Tech Pro, but safety on track is great. So I think we, of course, after an experience like this weekend, we can know that that's an area where we can improve on. But that's a part of the lessons we learned. When asked if he would use the nose stud in Monaco after his 2-race exemption, Hamilton replied emphatically, no. He went on to say, I got an exemption here. I'll get an exemption the rest of the year. Wedding rings are allowed. When asked if the debate would continue in Monaco, he said, sure, I'll wear 4 watches next time. In Florida, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff suggested that Hamilton and FIA president Mohammed Ben Sulayem had a direct discussion about the jewelry ban. I think what was needed was a dialogue between Lewis and Mohammed. It's clear that regulations are here to protect the drivers. On the other side, we need to keep the possibility on diversity and the means of expression and expressing yourself. And we know that this is important for Lewis. So yesterday, without going into detail where the piercing stayed, I'm sure they will come to a good resolution. It remains to be seen what comes of this whole mess, but it is safe to say that the FIA and Lewis Hamilton are currently at odds, with neither of them willing to budge on the issue. What are your thoughts on schism? Will Lewis Hamilton eventually have to give up? Or will the FIA give him a free pass as he hopes? We'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos.